Tonight for dinner we are having mashed cauliflower instead of mashed potatoes. You pretty much just throw a head of cauliflower in a stock pot with some veggie broth, and once it is cooked you just use an immersion blender to blend it up, add some cream and some butter, and it tastes just like mashed potatoes. This is some chorizo sausage. I will leave the recipe for that down in the description box below. And again, like every week, this is the Brussels sprout salad that I make. I feel like a pregnant woman with my Brussels sprout salad cravings. I tried Brussels sprouts for the first time like 2 or 3 months ago, so I'm catching up for lost time. I absolutely love them. So this is what is for dinner tonight. So tonight for dinner we are having chili, and I've had a couple requests to start filming the process of making the meals, so I'm going to give this a shot. It gets a little crazy around here at dinner time, but hopefully we can make it through without any screaming children. So this is the ingredients that you're going to need for the chili. This is the same chili we make all the time. I will link the recipe down in the description box below. It's loaded with veggies. All of us love it, so it's a perfect meal, and there's always leftovers, which is great for lunches as well. So back here we have 2 cans of diced tomatoes. I think she calls for 1 can of diced and 1 tomato sauce, but I prefer just using 2 cans of diced tomatoes. Then I have the Himalayan pink sea salt. Over here we have cumin, cayenne, and this is oregano. So those are my spices. I buy all my spices in bulk, so I keep them in these little mason jars. It's so much cheaper to do it that way, by the way, if you don't do that. In here I have, I think, 3 cloves of garlic minced. This is 1 minced onion. This is 1 celery stalk minced. And these are carrots. These are 4 carrots that are minced. Well, not really minced, I guess you would say diced. They're different colors. If you shop at Trader Joe's, they have these like heirloom carrots that come in a big bag, and they come in different colors, which is kind of fun. It adds some variety to the chili. And then these are, and then this is 2 or 3, I think 2 diced zucchinis. And then over here I have my meat, so I'm going to be mixing it. I have pork, ground pork, and then ground beef. So let's get started, and I will show you how to do this. Okay, so I have my meat browning here in this pan. It's almost done. And once this is all the way cooked through, and once these vegetables are all the way tender, I'll add the meat to this pan along with the diced tomatoes and spices. These still have a little ways to go though. So as you can see, these are nice and tender now and cooked all the way through. And my meat is cooked all the way through, so I am going to combine the 2 of them. I have added my meat to the vegetables. And then on here on the top, you can see that I have already added the spices. And then the final step is just to add in these diced tomatoes and stir it all up. Alright guys, side note, I added the diced tomatoes and it wasn't quite the consistency that I wanted, so I did add in some pasta sauce as well. So we're going to stir that all up, and this is the final product. So I'm going to put the lid back on this and let it simmer for probably about 10 minutes, and I will show you what it looks like all plated up. And here's what it looks like all plated up. So I have some tortilla chips around the side, and then the chilies on the bottom, topped with some sour cream, some cilantro, and some diced up avocado. And that's what's for dinner tonight. Tonight for dinner, we're just having a very simple, basic meal. We just have some steamed broccoli. This was frozen. I got this at Trader Joe's. Some sliced up pork chops, and then this is the sprouted California rice from Trader Joe's as well. The meal took me like 10 minutes to make, super easy, healthy, and that's what's for dinner tonight. Tonight for dinner, we are having stir fry. So I have my cauliflower right here. This has been chopped and washed. I'm going to use the food processor here to rice it. I'll show you that in a minute. And then over here, I have my chuck roast that's been cooking in my crock pot all day. So we have about almost 2 hours left on that. And once that's done, I'm gonna pull that out and shred it. So let me go ahead and show you how I rice this cauliflower. Okay, when you're putting it into your food processor, you don't wanna stuff it full too much, because what will happen is you'll have to run the food processor for a really long time to rice it, and then you'll end up with like soggy cauliflower. So you want the pieces to be, I'll show you in a minute. So you want to put, how many pieces do I have here? Like 4 pieces, and then I'll show you how I do this. Right. So what you're going to do is you're just going to pulse it. You really don't want the pieces to be too fine, because then you will end up with soggy, mushy rice. So if you notice in here, most of this is rice, but I have a few larger pieces. So I'm going to pull those out. I'm going to put this in a bowl and then just repeat the process over and over again. So I just cut up all my veggies and I put them here in this pan next to the cauliflower rice. So I chopped up some, these are green peppers, oops, broccoli, I have some asparagus in here somewhere right here, and then these are the multicolored carrots from Trader Joe's. So those will be the veggies for the stir fry. Still waiting on the meat right there, but I think I'm going to go ahead and make the sauce to go with all this stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to make the sauce. So I have a can of coconut cream here, which I'm going to add to this saucepan. And then I'm in the mood for some like Indian flavoring tonight. So I'm going to be using some cayenne pepper, garam masala, curry powder, and turmeric. Now I don't generally follow recipes, I kind of go by taste, but I will try to kind of guess how much I'm adding in as I go, and I will let you know in the description box below. But here we go. Okay, so this is just a guess. So I ended up using a can and a half of this coconut milk. My family likes to go a little heavy on the sauces, so I wanted to make sure that I had enough. So I'm going to add a tablespoon of this garam masala. And then a teaspoon of curry. A teaspoon of turmeric. And then a dash of cayenne. And then I'm just going to add in a little salt. And then I will let this simmer for a minute and give it the taste test and see if it needs anything else. So I just pulled the meat out of the crock pot, so now I am going to shred it up. It is nice and tender. You can see it's just going to pull right apart. But it's too hard to do with the camera, so I will show you what it looks like when it's all... Okay, so I have all my meat shredded up. I have it in this, sorry for the yelling in the background. I have it in this Tupperware container because we're not going to be eating for about an hour or so. So I'll leave it in there until it's ready to be heated. And I just wanted to add that I did the taste test on this sauce and it was missing a little something. So I ended up adding about 1.5 teaspoons of this, I don't know if you can see it, this ground ginger. And that added exactly what it needed. So this sauce is absolutely delicious now. I just put a little bit of coconut oil in this cauliflower rice, and I'm probably only going to cook it for a minute or two. When you start to see it change color and get sort of translucent, see, it's kind of hard to show on the camera, you want to pull it off the heat immediately. Otherwise you're going to end up with soggy rice. And then I also added some coconut oil to this pan as well. So these veggies are cooking. And then I have my sauce heating up in there. and I will show you what it looks like when it's all done. And here's what it looks like all plated up. I have my veggies, my cauliflower rice, and my meat over there, and then I topped it with the coconut cream sauce. And that's what's for dinner tonight. Tonight for dinner, we are having breakfast for dinner. So I have some avocado slices here. I have 3 eggs over a bed of baby kale. And then over here is just some salsa. And that's what's for dinner tonight. Tonight for dinner, we're just having another really simple, easy meal. This is a pork butt. I just threw it in the crock pot this morning, and then once it was finished cooking this evening, I pulled it, or shredded it rather, added some sweet and sour sauce, and then these are just some veggies I cut up. I have some cauliflower, sweet potato, and Brussels sprouts. I put it in the oven with some coconut oil, and then baked it for about a half hour, added some sea salt, and there you have it. That's dinner tonight.